Okay, why are you laughing?
And immediately tempted to do the inappropriate things that I won't.
So welcome. I'm here today with Darryl Collett. Darryl is my Kung Fu and Qigong teacher of 20 years. Darryl in Kung Fu style is a monkey. So right now, as we start to record this, he wants to pull all this monkey cheeky stuff. He is very zen. He is the most enlightened energy teacher that I know, yet very cheeky monkey. So welcome, Darryl.
Thank you very much.
Podcast.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I will be on my best behavior for this call. So it isn't necessarily promising much.
Was it accurate? Was it like, did you? Yeah. Amazing.
Monkeys are glorious. So all hail the monkey.
So we're going to talk today about flow.
And
right. For those of you, by the way, so flow is like something that I think you are an absolute expert in so many levels. Also, the topics energy and flow, I think they are such words that have been used in so many different ways. And I feel everything that I learned about flow and about energy and what it is comes from you. So I'm very excited to talk about this topic. We're also doing this conversation because we have a retreat coming up in Portugal in May. So just wanted to say that we'll share more about it at the end. But I'm really excited to talk about this because in a way it's everything.
Yeah.
What is flow? Let's just start with a light question.
That is a fantastic question. Flow is the natural state of the universe for everything simultaneously being in motion on stillness from where it currently is and where it is going to. So flow is that state of being moving and still simultaneously.
Okay. And I can feel that when you say that. How could we translate that? Like if we would translate that, what does that mean? So moving and still simultaneously.
Yeah. So literal examples for it is if you're trying to do something, you've created separation for you're not in flow. But if you are in flow, you will naturally be your best self. You will be turning up in the best way based on your current circumstances and your chosen direction. An example of which in a recent podcast, an actor really resonating in the role. They have two choices. One, they can try and fight to get to that place to allow the performance to come through, or two, they can get out of the way and just allow that performance, that process to be present. And then instead of being in competition with those around them, it actually invites them in to be their best selves. And then so the flow magnifies. So flow is the state of being your best in the current moment, whilst also on the trajectory you really want to be on.
Wow. I'm hearing a famous quote like, try, do not try.
Oh, 100%. The moment you start trying, you'll probably knock yourself out of flow. The big one for that, if you've ever had the ideal circumstances and you've got caught in the thought of, well, if I just push a little bit more, if I just try a little bit more, it's like the weightlifter who's already done the perfect workout, but then wants to get those few extra reps and the form is falling apart and the movements are starting to contradict, the gains are just melting away. If they were in flow, it'd been like, that is the perfect workout and I finish. And you're in that state of contentment and rest and recuperation and also inspiration and exaltation, and you're ready to move into whatever it is you're doing next. But if you're not in flow, you're trying to catch that moment that just was. And so you go even further out of flow. A singer catching the perfect note, the perfect performance, when everything is in harmony. And then their mind gets involved. And they're like, oh, I need to maintain that note. I need to catch it. I need to keep it. Maybe if I make my posture in a certain way, maybe if I try and fake the emotion in a certain way, and the moment is gone, the flow is broken, the sound disappears, and you're just left with this echo.
Wow, that is such a beautiful analogy. And also to give that context, as you actually work as an Qigong teacher, energy worker
Yeah.
with artists, with professional opera singers,
Mm.
with entrepreneurs, with leaders in so
Mm.
many different ways, right? So is it different? Like, I think this principle comes back in everything that we
It's,
do.
yeah, from my perspective, it's always the same. It's from my perspective, it's finding, well, two parts. My active is recognizing when and how someone is deliberately keeping themselves out of flow, whether they're consciously aware of it or not.
Hmm.
And then it's also what's the best way to bring them back into flow and leave them a trail of breadcrumbs that they can follow in. So for some people, I'll say, just relax. For others, it's less control. For others, it's tap dancing zebras, eating ice cream. It's whatever helps them get that little mental switch, and then they'll get back into their ideal. The quick one for flow is it's the perfect balance between opportunity and obstacles. So the perfect harmony between a certain amount of struggle and
Mhm.
a certain amount of desired outcome, and you finding that sweet spot in between, and you not doing anything to try and control it, but actually learning to surrender, learning how to flow within that flow and find your desired outcome. The difference between dancing and trying to control every single muscular movement in one go.
Yeah, then it's also not possible. We're never going to be as intelligent, for example, as the whole body to do that, or as
Yeah.
the energy where it wants to go. It's more like in resonance, sensing in, being having way more access. What I'm hearing
Yeah.
is way more.
Not falling into the illusion of seeing ourselves as a separate thing. The more we are in connection with ourselves, in connection with our environment, and in connection with everyone and everything that's also in that environment, they all add into our flow. So if you're dancing on your own and not paying attention, you're going to bump into people. You're going to be out of sync with the music. You're going to be limited by various factors. Whereas if you're in connection with yourself, I'm happy, I'm going to dance happily. I'm angry, I'm going to dance angrily. Oh, this is the song that matches the mood. And these are the people that I'm dancing with. You got far more likely to find that perfect flow. If you've
Hmm.
ever had that moment where you're just in the zone, you're dancing, you're feeling the music, you're loving it, you're resonating with your partner, you're both improvising, but there's nothing spoken. You're just totally in the zone.
Yeah. And why do you think it is? Because I'm hearing
Mm.
like we can get in over controlling,
Mm-hmm.
like really wanting to, or really wanting so much effort, controlling. I think another part could be avoidance, like
Mm-hmm.
actually not
Mm-hmm.
doing the thing that you know you really want to do out of
Mm-hmm.
fear or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What is it from your perspective? Sometimes we talk like just, you coach me on these things and I'm being hard on myself or like
Mm-hmm.
having this inner critic and you're like, I don't even know what that feels like. But why is it, do you think, that we are so much knocking ourselves out of flow?
Habit.
Yeah.
Habit and practice. So all of the reasons why someone might be trying to knock themselves out of flow or return to a a methodology or a practice that they're more comfortable with, I'll just summarize that as reasons.
Yeah.
So it's like we do what we do because reasons. But what we don't do necessarily is reflect on whether those reasons are bringing us the desired goal. And it was like, well, I do this because I've always done it. But it's like, why? Let's bring a bit of conscious awareness to the why of why we do something. And let's also strip away the judgment of why we do. So then we're left with only the answer. So
Mm.
that's an example of flow. If we
Mm.
try and add reasons, we can have the answer, but it can be drowned out because of past experiences or projections or thoughts or untamed or unmet emotions or unmet needs. But if we let all that be quiet, and then we're just present with what is actually there, so we no longer have our reasons, we just have what is. Now, that's super simple to say, but depending how habitual you are with your reasons or how well practiced you are with your reasons is how quickly you'll pick them up, how quickly you'll bring them in, and how quickly you'll mistake them for the state of flow.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I have my script and I follow my script. It's like, are you interacting with your client at that point? Are you actually resonating with what is present, or are you inside your head?
Yeah.
So
Which
we
is
let go
out
of
of
all of that.
flow per definition when we are out of connection. I love that
Yeah.
one to come back in. It's like, how can I feel connected again to myself, to the other person, to energy,
Yeah.
as a way into how could I do that? Like if I'm like
So
wanting to.
yeah, that's a great one. The quick one is, if we think of it like your balance is a learned skill. So if we're standing next to each other and I give you a little push, you're automatically going to adjust back into balance. But your way of doing that might be habitually moving or locking up in a certain way to
Yeah.
try and go back to being upright. But we're actually just after that sense of balance and letting our equilibrium restore itself. So the less we do, the more we'll stay in flow, the quicker we'll return into flow, and the harder will be to knock out of flow. If someone's really relaxed, you give them a push, they move with, or they just roll it off. But if someone's, I will stay here, I will be fixed, then straight away in Qigong, we call that double yang. It doesn't work.
No.
So it's finding what you actually need in the moment, and then you kind of really connect. Never lose connection with yourself, never lose connection with the present moment, and never lose connection with what's currently happening in the now, which is, for convenience, different than the present moment.
The now is different than the present
Well,
moment.
just for convenience, because then we could put it into what your environment is. This is me in the room. This is me in conversation. This is me in performance. This is me in selling. This is me in buying. But then we go to the now. So all these details, yeah, cool, we go a little closer. Then all these details, we go a little closer. Right, now we just have now. And then we still have that connection into everything bigger, vaster, and wilder than ourselves. But we bring that serenity.
I love how it's coming back to that, like from silence into movement. What is it? Wu Wei in like touch.
Yeah. Well, that's no action. From correct action to no action. So you learn the correct action, which is the structured part, and then you get to the no action. It's just be, don't do. The classic of like, oh, but if I just keep doing it, then I'll stay there. It's like, no, you know, there, forget about it. And then flow. Unconscious competence is maybe the other more common translation of Wu Wei. You've already done the work. Now pick the fruit, enjoy the feeling of the sun on your face. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. My number one bit of advice, repeat it all the time. Enjoy yourself. Joy is the default state of the universe. So the more joyful you are, regardless of circumstance, the more accurately you'll know for when and how you're in flow.
It's going so much through my head because I'm like, I can feel that right away. It's like joy is the real state of the universe. And there's the maybe toxic joys. And like, I actually feel absolutely miserable inside, but I'm going to be toxically positive.
Oh, yeah. So joy is the fully accepting whatever it is you're feeling without attempting to reframe it, or remodel it, or regurgitate it. If you're grieving, then you grieve. If you're happy, then be happy. If you're sad, be sad. If you're angry, be angry. But without any past memories or future desires getting mixed up in it, You get to be present in that moment 100%. And then when that moment has passed, you're present in the next moment 100%. You never get stuck.
I think this for me is an important one to get back to flow. Like, and I've heard you say now a couple of times control, and like basically when I don't want to be who I am, or when I don't want to accept what is,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm trying to feel like I feel sad today and I'm fighting it. I really want to make like, I don't know, 20,000 euros this week and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
there, I'm fighting it.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever it is, it doesn't matter if it's business or personal or the moment that I'm fighting what is, one thing that can bring me back into flow is to accept what is. And then maybe,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, 100%, because that's a great example. It was like, all right, I want to make 20,000 hours this week, but I'm encountering resistance. My first curiosity would be like, oh, so that's a valid one, but that might be what's next. What would you rather be doing right now? And that's your moment of flow. And it might be like, I want to eat breakfast. Then go eat breakfast. I want to cry. Then cry. I want to look at the beautiful view or call my mother or my father. It was like, then do that.
Yeah.
They're non-contradictory. Flow allows all possibilities to be present, not linear one after the other. So if this is the one that was like, well, I want to make 20,000 euros. Actually, I wonder if I could make 100,000 euros. Well, both of those are true simultaneously. So yes, you're working on making 20,000. You're also exploring and growing and evolving into making your 100,000. So it's recognizing what is happening right now, being present with it, being comfortable with it, and letting it flow through you. And then, as I say, as that moment passes, the next one will arrive. Without effort, without you having to do anything, it will be this effortless progression from now to now to now to now. That's the point.
Yeah. It right away feels so good when you say that now to now to now. And then I
Yeah.
just feel relaxing while we're doing this conversation and while we're having this conversation. And I was thinking about it, almost a contradiction. So in a way, I
Mhm.
feel I work with people that have, and I have this myself, I always have this vision or, I don't know, there's a goal. I'm like, there's something that I'm wanting to create
Mhm.
next or that I feel that is, and it was maybe when I wanted to get into dance academy to dance, you know,
Mhm.
then having a business, it can be related to so many different things, which creates the tension of
Mhm.
this is my reality now, and I
Yeah.
want to have that other thing,
Mhm.
which then in manifestation, you would say like manifest it, and then some
Mhm.
other religions would maybe,
Mhm.
for not religions, yeah, maybe also religions or
Mhm.
spiritual systems, they would say anything that is desire is not good
Mhm.
because I guess it could get us out of flow if I am desiring something that I'm not
Mhm.
right now. Am I that might, but I'm hearing you say is like you can have the desire or the vision and then acknowledge the now and the now and the now and the
Yes.
now.
Yes. I would say it lands in sincerity. So if the desire is sincere, that's got a very different quality than if the desire is flawed. If it's tainted by something else that's got a different agenda, a different outcome.
Yeah.
If it's like, I'm going to earn 100,000 euros and then my mummy will love me. And it was like, whoa, hang on. There are two different things present there. So we might, for convenience, separate them. And we can be with the emotional growth, the connection, the discovery. We can also be with the aspiration, the idea. And I agree that desire can get given a dirty label. But if we comprehend it or if we perceive it as the fire inspiring us into action, then desire is, when it becomes untamed, is a fire that's out of control. But a fire burning in the right place, bringing warmth and security and safety and opportunity, that also creates the possibility of us moving further in our chosen trajectory. So it's recognizing what it is we're really after, and then making sure our actions are in accordance with our ideals.
I'm sensing the difference between I'm imagining something or I want this thing because this person has it and it looks
Mhm.
so nice on the other, so I want that thing or this house or car or like reality, whatever. And rather there's almost like a sensitivity I can perceive. Is it what is meant to be for me? I don't know. Is it laid out? Do we come here with a purpose?
Oh, that's a whole other topic. Quick answer is yes.
No, but I mean, do I perceive a reality that
Mhm.
is there and that I want to expand into and that I don't want to limit myself anymore so that I can actually live my full potential, like to use those?
Yes. Well, I would say there's two there. There's the reality that is, and there's the reality that we perceive and create for ourselves. And they're entirely separate things, even though they might be occupying the same space. So it's recognizing what we want for ourselves and recognizing how sincere, how honest and truthful and actual that is. And then we've got more chance to recognize the difference between what is actually present and what is actually true and what we're imagining to be true.
Yeah.
And moving away, using our imagination in the right way to inspire us, to bring us that creativity and to invite us into flow, but not to mistake dreaming for acting. We could have the creative space to imagine and wonder and inspire, and then we get our feet on the ground and we get stuff done.
That is, yes. Wow, I'm just feeling how subtle it is. I'm just seeing for myself and for people that I'm like, oh, we want this thing. And I often, when I speak, like I speak to a lot of clients or people that want to step into like expanding their business or want to become more powerful in what they do. And then I see them seeing it and I see it in them. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. You've got all of this. There's so much magic to what you want to share with the world. And they see it. And then the moment that we really have to work on it, oh my God, it's like they run back.
Reasons. Yes.
Reasons.
Oh, yes, but tomorrow. I'll start doing it tomorrow. I was like, oh, then you don't want it now.
Yeah.
You like the idea of it. The idea of it can be very attractive, very enticing, very like, oh, that would be the amazing, oh, and then I could do this, and then I could do that. And it was like, we're wasting time. We're no longer in the now. So the quick rule is your thoughts usually exist in the past or the future. The closer you get to the now, the less chatter there is going on. In Qigong, your mind is your head and your heart. And your head is all about presenting options and weighing up past events and past outcomes and giving you a set of probabilities. But your heart is directly connected into what you're doing, what's flowing through you, what's coming into you, and what's coming out to you. So you interact through your heart and you project and plan in your head. But if you try and act with your head, you're so likely to end up in reasons and doubts and deceptions and delusions.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And again, I really see that either it's a kind of a collapse, it's like not doing it, avoidance, or it's a push through, which then ends up in like basically double yin, double yang.
Yeah. Two extremes of the same thing.
Yeah, when we don't invite that heart space, but when the desire is real, it feels to me now, it's like, is there, if we would be on a journey here, like to learn something, it's like, oh, I'm perceiving something that I'm meant to step into, or that is possible for me to step into in this life.
Yeah, solidly.
I feel very, but like if there's one thing why I do what I do, I feel like it breaks my heart. If somebody wanted to expand into something or that energy wanted to do that in this life and they have to do in the next one, I'm like, do it in this life. Like it breaks my heart if we don't do it because of reasons, because of the illusions that hold us back and make us small. And maybe getting back into flow is when that is inevitable. You are just,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, this goes as big or as small as we need it to. So say your desire was to perform in Carnegie Hall in front of thousands of people, to be the Beyonce in your chosen field. I've no idea if Beyonce is still relevant, but Beyonce in your chosen field. And if that is your path, that's what's going to happen. Yeah. If that's not in your path, it's like, well, what is it that's so enticing about this? Where's the desire? And then it might be exploring envy and jealousy and the positive actions of both and then resonating into, oh, this is what success means to me, and this is the external marker I'm using for success. It's like, okay, doesn't mean you need to be the next Beyonce, but it's recognizing what it is that you're noticing that's resonating with you, what it is that's inspiring and enticing and calling to you. I find a lot of people talk of your intuition whispering to you, and you need to be patient and silent and notice this tiny whisper. Now, personally, I don't believe your intuition whispers to you. I believe it speaks very loudly and very clearly, sometimes terrifyingly so. But your intuition is very present. How we receive our intuition, how we include our intuition into our decision making, oh, that's something else again. So again, for me, this goes back into flow. And it was like, well, if I need to try and figure out all these individual little steps, I'm going to spend 100 years thinking about what I should have done. So instead, it was like, well, how can I recognize the difference between an actual action and a preconceived notion? And so it's like, well, this is the thing that inspires me for that. Excellent. What does that connect to within me? Where's that hunger within me? Where's that excitement within me? And then it's connecting with that. And then it was, oh, that's what I want. That's what I want.
And the moment you say that, I'm like, I know this so well, and I feel that we've been working on this so much. And again, I see this also in the people that I then support. We know it, and then we doubt it.
Well, yeah, so that's a great example of habit. So when it was, I've caught the flavor. Oh, but. It was like, oh, okay, we got a but. So we can pause at it. And then we might practice self-compassion, self-love, self-reflection, self-kindness, recognizing where the hesitation is there, where the wound or the conflicted outcome from before. And then recognizing how how you would deal with this in the most authentic way for you. Sometimes that'll be pushed through. Sometimes that'll be collapse and express. Other times that'll be like, then this is going to be a transformative moment. So the idea is to welcome all outcomes. Again, it goes back to never losing connection with yourself, never losing connection with the current moment, feeling everything that you're feeling, but not letting it break you from action. So you can still have the, but, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's valid. Okay, just let that one by. Keep moving. It's still valid. It might be like, oh, yeah, okay, then this is the action I'm going to take just now, is giving time, attention, and care to this. And then as this is resolved, as this is incorporated back into ourselves, we carry on with what we were doing. So we sometimes catch the idea that only forwards motion is positive. And if that was true, then yeah, people would move in very bizarre ways. So sometimes your most positive action is to go left, right, up, down, stay still for a while, go backwards. It's not just forwards. You have so many options and opportunities for how best to grow in line with what you want and need to achieve. I like to say need because that will connect you more with your fire. And then it's recognizing the difference between your aspirations and your actions and your desires and your needs and your manageable, predictable outcomes. And then you start to learn how to manifest flow for you, or how to stay in flow, to recognize first when you're getting knocked out of flow. I was like, hang on a minute, this is the bit where I recognize the thing and then I immediately try to distract, or maybe it's self-sabotage, or maybe it's like, oh, I'll just go care for something else first. And I was like, okay, but is it still sincere? Are you still in connection with yourself? And if the answer is no, then I was like, then we can choose which one is most important. So as long as we maintain that connection with ourselves, we can be of service in any area we want to go in. And we can perform any action to achieve any outcome because we're not breaking our flow. That's my beat, blah, blah, blah.
No, I love it. I'm just there's so much going through my mind of like the breaking the flow indeed, and how I'm reflecting on how I do that and how I work
Yeah.
with and how I see we can all do that. And it brings me actually to another big concept that I think is interesting to talk about. So also when we talk about flow, I just want to give that context for a moment. I've been your Qigong student now for like 20 years. And still every single week we have a Qigong session with a group of people that do this for over 20 years. So amazing. And it's a beautiful style of Qigong that's very dynamic. Qigong means the art of energy, and it's all about restoring flow.
Yeah, through harmonious energy flow. Yeah.
Harmonious energy flow, which could mean so many things. And in my experience, we use the word energy, and I actually wanted to go there for a moment, in so many ways. Because if I think of Qigong, you increase the amount of cosmic energy, like in a way that we train it, and then it starts to harmonize the flow. So that can mean any blockage. If it starts to clear out any blockage so that there can be flow, and that can be I'm crying on the floor. It can be I'm standing still. It can be I'm moving around. It can be physical, emotional, mental. All of that I can kind of still comprehend, even though I did not believe it. When we first did this, and I guess it's all made up. But okay, I've come to understand that the experience of energy is a very tangible experience. And in my humble opinion, so I've been training this so long with you, and like in my humble opinion, I've also trained a lot of other practices, yoga, somatics, and a lot of people use the word energy. And I'm going to be very honest, I often think you don't know exactly what it is. And I don't want to say, and I do, but in a way, yeah. So,
well, actually,
I do want to get there because because energy work is incredibly direct. It's like you don't have to understand, you don't have to have the psychology, you don't have to do 16 times sun salutations every morning in order to have it. Energy is something that can happen instantaneously. It's like there's no time, something shifts, and the reality is different next moment.
Yeah.
Why? I know that it happens, but how does it work?
The very quick one. So first, when you said cosmic energy, I'd like to say that that's a good one for translation. In the West, we would refer to it more as universal energy. Okay. Universal meaning suitable for all things. It's not that we are separating ourselves from the wider, vaster physical universe, but that also everything made manifest is a concentration of energy. So we're using energy in its simplest building blocks of creation definition. We're also using it in the sense that what is energy can also be, it's the information itself. It's the information that creates reality. Energy is then potentially, for simplicity, the tool, the substance, with which all physical matter is then measured. So universal energy is energy that is suitable for all things. Stars twinkling in space, plants growing in the earth, human beings running around having human being experiences, all using energy. The classic again for heat, light, sound, and motion. The idea that most of us are very undignified, unaware, and rather random in how we use our energy. So the practice of Qigong, or the art of practicing Qigong, is how to actually keep everything operating as it was designed to operate. So from that one, some of it in the initial might be postural. Some of the initial might be the way that the energy flows through the body, the way that the organs and all the faculties actually operate, and into the specifics of why can practicing Qigong in some ways just be body work, and in other times will actually be energy work, goes back to what I was talking about earlier for the two realities, what is true and what we believe to be true, And Qigong will really reconnect you back into what is. So you can believe something is true. It's like, that's fine. You don't have to believe differently. Practice Qigong. You'll naturally align and harmonize yourself. You'll have your own experience. It goes to the classic of the Buddha's teaching, accept nothing on faith alone, regardless of who says it, even if some crazy, hairy Scottish guy. But really base everything from your own direct experience. We could then go into the idea of like, well, there's my subjective experience, there's my objective experience. The quick one is, yeah, they're both the same. It doesn't matter. What we're after is getting back to, oh, this is what it feels like when I'm not mistaking my thoughts for reality. Yeah. This is what it feels like when the body is in harmony and flow. This is what it feels like when the emotions are actually not repressed or unkept and actually allowed to be present. This is what it feels like when I have the conversations I actually want to be having, when I express myself in the way I want to express. That relaxation, that ease, that joy of life becomes more and more present when we return to what is. So the more we practice Qigong, the more joyful we will feel, the more open and sincere and authentic they will be, the more fun we will have in life, in all stages of life.
Yeah, yes. I'm no, it is such a powerful practice. I'm realizing more and more how much of any success I have achieved in a way that still feels healthy and aligned, or anything that I've healed, how Qigong has. I'm like, always like when I do my Qigong practice at the beginning of the end of the day, I'm like, wow, imagine that I wouldn't have this. I had this like horrible experience yesterday with something, and now I'm like, I let it go and it's gone. And this is actually that next word, I think, like flow and energy, and then letting go, to fully be able to let go of the illusions, let go of the limiting belief, let go of the fears, let go of the resentment, the anger that is pulling you back to the old. Letting go is what also brings me back into flow.
Yes. So there's the two parts to that. There's the deliberate action and there's the learned response. So this is at the beginning when it was like, well, how do I know what the deliberate action is? And how do I know what the learned response is? The deliberate action, the thing I've chosen to do, the learned response, it might be force of habit, it might be subconscious programming, whatever your frame of reference is, you're not really present in that moment. So we want to get more to deliberate response. And the way I always describe it is if you've ever had a conversation or an argument with someone, and then after the argument, you're still running it through in your head, you're like, oh, if only I'd said this, or when they said that, I wish I'd said that, and you're still playing it through. That's an example of a blockage. You've broken flow. You're no longer present in the now. You're stuck in something in the past. So deliberate action there can be recognizing when we're playing it. And it was like, what do I actually want to do? Do I want to take action? Do I want to be like, hey, I didn't enjoy that conversation of, I've reflected on what you said. You're right about this, but I really wish we'd gone there with that, or whatever your framing might be. That's the essence of it. That's kind of what I describe as the beginning stages. It's learning to recognize what your deliberate action is going to be and using that to give yourself that on-ramp into recognizing when you're breaking your own flow and then to stop doing that. So it doesn't need to be a big mystical thing. It was, hang on a minute, I'm playing that conversation in my head. Right. What's my shortcut here? Is it to recognize, actually, that was a really good point they made? Yeah, okay. So then we practice forgiveness, acceptance, the saying sorry when we need to say sorry, acknowledging the truth of a thing. Or it might be like, I really wish I'd said blah instead of whatever. It was like, so then we have the authenticity and that genuine leadership moment. Then we do that.
Yeah.
And then we were like, oh, but if I do this, then maybe that will happen. Well, hang on a minute. That's fantasy again. So I can choose to do something or not do something. They're both in action. So we kind of move on from there. So there's so many possibilities in that moment. But
Basically, you're
for me, yeah.
saying letting go, or also honoring if there's
Yeah.
something. I
Honoring is
still
a great word, actually. That's a good one for it. Yes. Yeah, it's
honoring that
honoring the
maybe
present
it's a
moment.
regret or something missing, and
Yeah.
then this is needed for me to let go, and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna let go. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna let go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also see this with disappointment. So,
Right.
for example, when I'm helping somebody build their business and they're like, I did a launch and then it didn't work
Mm.
out as I wanted. Of course, I mean, it
Mm.
can totally happen. You do it again. If you're in flow, you will see that as
Mm.
okay, this and that, and now with curiosity, what can I do next? And then I
Right.
do it again or continue. Or
Yes.
when I'm not in flow, it's going to pull me back all the way into the old because
Hmm.
I have all the reasons and the proof now that
Yes.
you see this stuff
See
doesn't
this
work
thing
or like,
because,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Reasons.
yeah.
Yes.
Which very sneakily,
Hmm.
I see people temporarily feeling really good diving back in that old
Hmm. Yes.
because it is such a strong, you see, this is how it is,
Hmm.
and this is, even if it's the uncomfortable truth.
Yes.
And I'm saying people, and of course not me, never me,
It's
really me, but like
other
me,
people.
not
Yeah.
other people,
Yeah.
not me, but no, 100% myself as well. But it's just so interesting, and then but it's like it doesn't feel good because
Hmm.
flow maybe wants, is that my soul? Is that my something wants that expansion?
Hmm.
That's actually, but who
Yeah.
wants
Well,
the
flow is the
expansion?
default state of the universe. So it's
Okay,
like if you've got used to eating really good fresh food, and then you've got to go back to eating moldy 2-day-old food, you kind of notice it. And
yeah,
then if you've realized that what you've been taking as fresh food is actually also moldy, week-old food, you're like, oh my God, okay, I want flow. And then you got two choices there. One, if you still have a wounded spirit, if you're still carrying hurt, it's like, oh, if only I could have flow. It's instead of like, well, you can. It's learning to recognize, and then it might be reasons. I don't deserve flow because I can't achieve flow because I don't believe flow because. And I was like, yeah, but they're all reasons.
yeah,
So we can peel them all back one by one and see which ones are true or why we carry them with us for as long as we do. But we learn to differentiate between the state of flow and what we know to be true and the state of fantasy and what we believe or want to be true. There's nothing wrong with wanting something to be true as long as we know if it's not. And then it was like, if only that was true. Yeah, but it's not. If only that launch went well. Yeah, but it didn't. It's not to land in it with crushing disappointment. It might be like, oh, wonder why that didn't work.
yeah,
And that curiosity gives us the space to accept genuine feedback.
yeah.
And this is genuine feedback from ourselves, from potentially our clients, our environment, also from the wider universe. And I was like, oh, it didn't work. I wonder why. I tried launching my course at, I don't know, 4 o'clock in the morning in the middle of a thunderstorm with no internet. And it was like, well, I think that's a pretty easy one to solve. And then we go into more levels of complexity. So it's I mean, flow is beautiful. I'm heavily biased. I should have said that at the beginning. I'm heavily biased. But I think flow as a default state makes everything more beautiful. It's one of the things I used to, well, I know you'll have experienced it yourself, but for other people, it's training in a space from how you see it beforehand, and then you practice, and then afterwards, it's always much more beautiful. But the space hasn't changed. It's our perception of the thing that's changed. Well, that's not
Yeah.
entirely true. The place has changed, and our perception of the thing has changed, and we have changed. We were always all those things. All those things were always present, but we kind of just drift away from them bit by bit, moment by moment, day by day, and year by year. We can get back to it instantaneously, and then we're in.
It's really that the it is always there, but
Mhm.
we get confused by all the things that are not true, like they're
Yeah.
not real. Practice what is real.
Yes.
I was thinking in the Yoga Sutras, but Maya
Hmm.
is the illusion state
Hmm.
that we need to awaken from to
Yeah.
then step into that blissful, like
Yeah.
really knowing what is real. Or I think we talked about once the Course in Miracles, that book. They also said
Hmm.
there's either love or there's fear. There's reality, there's flow, there's
Hmm.
this natural states of the universe, and then there's hell, basically,
Hmm.
the illusions, the Maya, the what take us away from it. So would you say the most work is to recognize what is not real, to
Hmm.
let go of that, and then
Hmm.
to always reconnect to flow?
Yeah. Don't carry burdens that aren't yours.
Yeah.
I think that would be my genuine take on it. It's like, if it's not yours to carry, then don't carry it. It's
Yeah.
an act of compassion to let something go. It's an act of forgiveness to let something go. It's an act of kindness to let something go. And recognizing that the closer we get to authenticity, the deeper we are in flow. And being gentle, tender, and kind in those moments allows us to be our best selves. When you need to be harder, brutal, clearer, you can be, but also in a state of flow. You learn to carry kindness and compassion with you. Compassion and wisdom are the two pillars of the Shaolin arts, which is what I practice. And that's it. It's what we always need to cultivate.
That's so beautiful, because it's not about, oh, you have excuses. Like, it's
Mm.
actually so much compassion and love for our own illusions
Yes.
that have built over the years, that maybe we've got even from our lineage, maybe past
Hmm.
lives, like
Yeah, sure.
karma. Like, there's so
Yeah,
many
family
levels.
patterns. It's the
Yeah,
classic modern one for that is, you never know what battle someone else is fighting.
yeah,
But then we can also apply that to ourselves as well. It's
yeah,
like, you might be giving yourself a really hard time for something you don't understand. And then the action of pressing yourself there keeps knocking you out of flow. So it actually makes it harder to take positive action there. So instead, actually practicing kindness and softness might be the exact thing you need to do to cut through, especially if it's legacy wounds or inherited traumas. It's kindness is one of the best things you can practice.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really big one. And it's again not the fighting or not wanting, oh, I don't want to be this way. I don't want to be
Yeah,
difficult or heavy, or no. It's like so much kindness for that part. And then to be able
yeah,
to let it go completely, which then allows us to be a bit more in authenticity and a flow again. And like
solidly.
every,
And then, yeah, because then the classic for that is, your nose can be kind too. Your yeses can be kind to yourself. Your no's can be kind to others. It's not
Mm,
this idea that, like, oh, well, no is an unkind thing. No, no might be the kindest thing you do.
yeah, yeah,
So, so it's also to cultivate that authenticity, which will naturally generate that strength of character, which will allow you to fully embrace your yeses and your nos, and then bring that into your client and your business. If your client can trust your yeses and they can trust your nos, you're in a great place.
that's
If
so
you
good.
know how to trust your yeses and trust your nos, you're in a great place. So life gets
Wow.
easier.
So really congruency and authenticity, and to really like
And
fully be
sincerity,
that.
yeah.
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 We were just talking about, I said like, oh, there's been in the online business space, there's been a lot of businesses owners stopped
Yeah.
for good reasons, I
Mhm.
think. But maybe things, first of all, things end. Yeah. So I think also like we can have an offer or a program or a
Mhm.
business, and at one point we decide not to have it anymore. It doesn't always have to be because of something went wrong. It's just,
Yeah.
things have a lifetime.
Yeah.
But I also have seen that if it isn't congruent or real
Hmm.
or authentic, it's very hard to make it last for like
Yeah.
many, many
Oh,
years.
everything has its own timeline. Everything
Yeah,
has its own lifespan,
yeah,
and dependent on the environment and the participants and the inhabitants. And then if
yeah,
the inhabitants, the participants, or the environment changes, that will directly impact the lifespan of a thing. And
yeah.
that's as much from individuals into plans, ideas, businesses, everything. So,
One last question, a bit more related to maybe business also, but
yeah,
anything in life can also be art or anything.
yeah,
But
yeah.
how would you describe success? Like, what is being
Wow. Oh my
success?
God, that's good. That's good. Oh, I could answer that question in so many ways. I'll have to personalize it because I can't make it too abstract. So success is a feeling or success is a state. I'll do both. So success is a feeling is very warm, very nourishing, really landing in the abdomen and into the belly. And then from there, spreading through to fill all of the body, right into the fingertips, toes, the back of the head, everything alive. And then that feeling expands out beyond me. So success really ties very closely into the beginnings, the potential for generosity. So success unlocks generosity, and generosity unlocks thriving on a massive scale. So that would be my personal one. That's how I would describe success. The beginnings of generosity. From what is success? The natural completion of an outcome. And then if we're bringing in our thoughts and our ideas, it's the natural, successful completion of our desired outcome. And then once we've got that, what do we do with it? So I'm biased. For me, it goes into the beginning of generosity. And how do we then manifest or exude generosity? But if you're looking at it from a business perspective, from an artistic perspective, it's whatever task you were undertaking has naturally completed and brought about this state of abundance. So instead of immediately putting your head back in the sand and doing it again, it's like, oh, so what do I do with this abundance? And it might be cultivation of the self. It might be cultivation of the environment. It might be cultivation of connection. But either way, success will expand out beyond you. And it will touch the lives of everyone around you. And I'm heavily biased, but that can only be a good thing. Success is good, highly desirable. To succeed is good.
And I love how the first thing you explained, it like you can feel it instantly. We can't say, when I made €1 million,
Yeah.
I'll be successful, right?
Yeah.
That's what the beliefs do. That's that anti-flow. That's that like you
Yeah.
are
It was like, oh,
success.
if you haven't yet made 1 million, you're a failure. I was like, oh, what have I been doing instead? Oh, no. It's only these parameters and no other. And it was like, I've saved all the, no, it doesn't count. Planted all these trees, doesn't count. It's like, it's a very
And
shallow definition of success. 1 million
I
what?
think, yeah. And what you said, what do you do when you get that?
Yeah.
If that's not embodied, if that is not in your energetic reality that you are
Yeah.
success, you are
Yes.
it right now.
Yes.
And then you get to the million in a month, in a year, like when do you
Yeah.
want it? I don't know. Let's say, and then you will not be able to receive it. It won't be enough. There's going to be a next thing because it's shallow. But what we want is to like really, I love that when you were describing, I could feel it like coming out of every pore of my skin, and I love this. Actually, success is generosity. It goes
Yes.
out. Like it's not just about you. It's actually something that's very generous, and I
Mm-hmm.
love that because I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people have a belief around if I'm successful, the other person isn't anyway,
Oh,
or make the other person uncomfortable. But
yeah.
actually, it's about generosity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make a bridge here to like our retreat that we'll be teaching,
Yeah.
because we'll be teaching the retreat in Sintra here in Portugal at the end of
Mm-hmm.
May, 27th of May.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be starting, and we're going to teach on flow
Mm.
and how to really step into that. How to, you maybe say it, but like what you said, like the breadcrumbs, like how do I
Mm-hmm.
always get back into flow, and what are my
Mm-hmm.
pathways, and what is my all these illusions that I'm not, and so then who can take up space to be fully
Nice. Yeah.
present, right?
Yeah. 100%. Yes. How do we experience flow? How do we remember it? So first we catch the idea, then we generate the experience, then we learn how to generate the experience, and then we just live our best life. Heavily biased. There's no projected time frame for that. Might not happen in 4 days, but might happen in the first 5 minutes. Who knows? But that's That's what we're after, catching that, this is what it means to flow. And then it might be, it's like, then it goes into, so this is where and why and how we don't flow. Or this is how we replicate and encourage surrendering into our flow. Like everyone will require a different key to unlock the door that's in front of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not for me to say what someone else's key is, but I'll absolutely love to help them find it.
Well, I think in these kind of experiences, and we did actually not talk about like energy transmission, but I think you just get lifted up. So for you, flow is such a like natural state, like a default state, like it's just
yeah, 100% default state of the universe. Yeah.
And you know, all the years of training and like access to it, and then when you get in a room with you, like, which I know from experience, you get lifted up to this extra, oh wow, this is what it is to be flow. And then what you say, then you can remember it and you can get back to it, and it's just like I don't know, what is it? It's an energetic different experience which you couldn't get to so easily if you weren't there, but like when you get in the room you can like
it's once we have the experience that we can take that as raw data. So we want the head and the heart combined. So the head, it was like, I've experienced this, how do I get it again? So again, we might go into envy or desire. It was like, how do I return to a state of flow? It was like, well, let's break the structure of that and let's just remember the feeling. This is what it feels like to be in flow. That's your number one check-in. Whenever you're feeling not in flow, it's like, well, hang on, I'm feeling X. Am I still in flow? And then really simple, practical exercises to get back into a state of flow, or to let go of whatever it is that's inhibiting you from naturally returning into a state of flow. Being in flow is your default state. Something needs to be happening for you to not be in flow. So we bring awareness to that, and then we bring discovery of that.
Yeah.
And then we have fun.
I'm happy I'm in this retreat. Oh yeah, I'm facilitating it with you, but I'm just very happy to be a part of it. No, but it's amazing. I'm so excited for it. I'm excited even for this conversation and experience. And I love how we made such an abstract topic in a way, like flow and energy and letting go, which could be so abstract, but I feel it needs to be abstract because that's what kind of the level that this operates at, but at the same time it is so tangible and so
it's solidly tangible. I mean, I've trained these arts for over 40 years now. Wow. Which is actually it's over 40. But for a wee mini one, there are a lot of descriptions out there of energy and flow and how to do it. And when I was young and hungry, I was like, I would give everything the 3-month test. Well, I do it for 3 months. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I go try something else. And that's still the approach I advise people to do. Try something for yourself. Try it with sincere effort for X amount of time and find out for yourself if it works or not. That's already, you're paving the road to flow right there. Trust your own experience.
Yeah.
And have fun. Life is good. Life is very, very good.
Thank you so much. This is absolutely amazing. We're going to have that retreat. I'm going to list the retreat in the show notes. So for those that are listening, you can see this. You can let us know if you want to come. You can ask me any questions. I would be really excited to meet you there. Thank you so much, Darryl.
Very welcome. Yeah, thank you for having me. The classic.